Well, the U.S. is seeing progress in the fight against COVID-19 right now. More than 63% of Americans are now fully vaccinated, according to the CDC. And the Omicron variant has shown to cause less severe illness than the Delta variant. But health officials are stressing that the virus still possesses a threat. John Lawrence reports.
COVID-19 has been a dominant factor in everyday life for the past 2 years, ranging from mask wearing in public to lengthy hospital stays. But some health officials say that might change in the not too distant future.
We see fewer and fewer people who've never dealt with one form or another of the virus that causes COVID before. And because of that, we're seeing a lot less severe illness, a lot fewer deaths per infection.
The number of confirmed cases versus hospitalizations in the U.S. has also dropped since November, according to data from Johns Hopkins University and the Department of Health and Human Services.
We have so many more tools now compared to 2020 or 2021, and we're also dealing with, thankfully, a milder variant with the Omicron variant.
Among those tools, booster shots, which one CDC study found are 90% effective at preventing hospitalizations.
We're talking about somewhere between a cold and the flu is where Omicron falls if you are vaccinated and boosted.
Doctors say the bottom line remains. The sooner more people get vaccinated, the sooner the world can get the upper hand on the pandemic.
People have just chosen not to be vaccinated, and that's their choice, and we will continue to provide their care. But the ones who are not vaccinated are the ones who are flocking to the hospitals right now, and that's creating the problem.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Well, COVID hospitalizations are decreasing. In the Northeast, it's down roughly 11% from a peak last week, and in the Midwest, down 6%, according to Health and Human Services data. However, hospitalizations are on the rise in the West and in parts of the South. Here in Indiana, we expect to get another COVID update this evening on the COVID fight. But as of the last reports, more than 1.5 million cases have been reported since March of 2020. And that includes more than 45,000 cases of reinfection since September of last year. Nearly 20,000 Hoosiers have died. And right now, only 9.6% of all ICU beds in Indiana are available. 33.1% are being used by COVID patients, and 67% of ventilators are available, with 12.9% in use by COVID patients. Well, activists gathered at the Lincoln Memorial in D.C. to protest COVID vaccine mandates. Because the nation's capital city has a vaccine mandate, protesters who came from out of town spent the night in Northern Virginia. Now, organizers originally estimated 20,000 people would show up. However, the actual crowd looked a bit smaller than that. Protesters argue that the mandate would inhibit personal freedoms.
It's because of government interference in personal business. I want to be free to take my kids anywhere in my country.
Well, that protest featured speeches by several prominent anti-vaccine activists, including Robert F. Kennedy Jr. D.C. police say the protest was largely peaceful. At least 72 Olympic personnel in China have tested positive for COVID-19. All of them are non-athletes. The Chinese authorities have implemented a closed-loop system, which is a bubble completely cut off from the rest of the city for the Winter Olympics to limit the spread of the infection. The opening ceremony for the Olympics begins February 3rd. You can watch it right here on Channel 13.